I have watched 10 seconds of a YouTube video for a craft I've never done before. So let's make a mess. I recently ran out of flocking. I used one of those big tubs from Woodland Scenics, and one tub went a long ways, but it's time for more. And I thought, man, we got this project going on with my shed. There's these big piles of sawdust near the table saw. I've never actually made my own, and I've seen people do it out of sawdust. So naturally, I watched 10 seconds, 15 seconds of a YouTube video and figured, what could go wrong? There's plenty more sawdust if I screw it up. So that's what we're going to do today. But the other thing we're going to talk about in this video, I'm calling this video Tabletop Praxis. And what do I mean by that? Well, got to duck under some trees and spider webs. Okay. Just the idea that there's so much talk on the internet about gaming and what you should do and these ideas for your kinds of games. And man, I don't subscribe to like any of it because I just want to actually play the games. I want to build cool stuff and I want to play them. And that's what I've been focusing on for years now. And so while we craft something today, I'm going to be talking through all the games that I've played like over the last 2 years, some cool moments in those games, and I'll show off some crafts that I did specifically for those games. So let's do it. Okay, I think we got a good amount here. That's a ton. So my plan here, we're going to do 3 different colors. And this is a good opportunity to make the kind of colors I actually want to use. Normally, when you buy flocking, it's just hard to find good colors. So I've got some paints here. I love this one. What is this? English Ivy Green. And that one will do just like straight as it is. Kelly Green. A little bit lighter, but still like a muted color, not super vibrant. And then I've got some orange and brown, and I want to do an orange color, but I'm going to mix in just a tiny bit of brown to make it not super saturated orange. We'll see how it turns out. So I'm hoping with those 3, we'll have what I want. So the first game that I want to talk about is right here, Easy D6 and Easy D6 Wasted World by DM Scotty. We did a campaign of this game, and if you're a crafter, you know DM Scotty's the GOAT. So we did a campaign of that. I think it was 10 sessions total, and here's some minis that I made specifically for that game up here. Let's get a good view here. These are kit bashed Anvil Industries bodies and then GW bits. And we've got one War Games Atlantic alien head there. And I did those scatter pieces in the back too, out of sprues and cardboard. Those turned out really cool. And then I also made this guy. This guy's story was really funny. Basically, he was a robot that worked at a gas station. And then he was tortured and worked on to be made into this abomination, and our players had a fun NPC interaction with him while they fought this giant mutated viper vine thing. All right, our next step in this craft is to make our slurries to put this sawdust in, and we're using some Liquitex Flow Aid, the paint of choice, and a little bit of water in there to loosen it up. And so now it's time to get messy. All right, that needed much more liquid than I expected, but I think this one's going to work out, and we'll just do some more for the next color. So that one's just ready to dry. All right, so the next 2 games I wanted to talk about were 1490 Doom and Relic Blade. So we got into 1490 Doom when we saw it was starting to gain some traction on YouTube, and I've showed the board already that I made. but we'll just show it again here. Who doesn't like that? Great board. Love it. We've got about 10 games, I think, of 1490 Doom done, and we'll throw some dudes up here and then I'll show them off. My group, I called the Sect of the Bloodworm, and let's take a peek here. Great set of minis. Love them. They're Vivictus bits, and I forget who did the helms, but somebody on my mini factory. So Relic Blade we got into right after that, and I built a board. We can show that off here. Kind of a blue theme. I didn't want gray anymore. So much Dungeon Stone is gray. And then I used some Hearst Arts molds to make 4 of these ruins. I could make more, but normally we fill the board with other stuff, platforms and trees and all kinds of stuff. So I didn't need too many. But Relic Blade has been great. We also got about 10 games of that in so far, and we're looking forward to playing more. Really fun system, simple system. And then the cards, just having the cards out. I even printed out for 1490 Doom. I printed out cards for those because I like being able to just look at the card instead of flipping page to page in the book. So all in all, about 20 games between those 2 games. All right, no joke, that was the easiest craft I've ever done. That actually took me 15 minutes, and I made an extra color just because I can. Well, let's turn this around. So we got 4 different colors. I'll make some blends and some solid colors out of those. And I'm going to bag some up to give to friends as well, because that is a ton of flocking and it took me no time at all. So we're going to sit and let that dry. So the next game I wanted to talk about that we've been doing, we're in the middle of a campaign of Shadow Dark, and we're doing Dark Sun. So I'll show the board that I made for that. A nice desert board and some stackers. I've got like 10 of these, but they're huge. So Dark Sun has been awesome. We picked up our story. If you know any of the story from the novels there, we picked up right after the death of King Kalak, and they're like a couple months after that event. And we've completely homebrewed it after that setting, lore, and like starting place. But basically where my players are at now is they've finally found Rikus, Sadira, and Aegis, and they've got some kind of alliance with them going where they're going to go try to kill the Dragon of Tyr. And this is where it gets really homebrew. We've basically discovered in our campaign that if they can somehow kill the Dragon of Tyr, the life of Athos can be restored back to its original state before the Sorcerer Kings sucked all the life out of the planet. And so anyway, that's been super fun. It should end in probably 6 to 8 sessions, something like that. Next on the list, we've got Daggerheart. I got the books up here. And the last 2 years, I've been a part of the Outriders, which is a group organized by Brandish Gilhelm at Runehammer. And the last 2 years, we've gone down to Philly, a group of like 10 to 12 of us, and basically marathoned for 3 days at an Airbnb. And this last year, we actually got to play in the new shop that he opened up in Fishtown, and it was an incredible experience. This year, now that I've done that twice, I just really wanted to do that same kind of idea, an Airbnb getaway for my home group. And so this year we're running an event that we're calling Iron Oath. And basically it's 4 days at an Airbnb, 2 gaming tables, 1 base of operations for the characters, 1 story where all the characters are wardens of the Iron Order. And so it'll be 4 days, a total of 4 sessions, 2 tables running, so 8 sessions total, but all one big story leading to one climax. And we're going to be running Daggerheart to do that, and I can't wait to try that out. So we've got Dark Sun that's going to take us into September, end of September. We've got Iron Oath, our getaway event with Daggerheart, and then after that I'm kind of freed up for a bit, and then I'm a player in a Fantasy 5.5 game as well, and that one is just beginning. But I'm freed up to run kind of whatever I want after that. And my group mostly plays fantasy, and all of us are kind of on the same page where it's like 70-80% of our gaming we want to be fantasy, in different genres there, but fantasy. And so, but I like to do palette cleanser campaigns. That's why, like Wasted World, it was a 10-session campaign to mix it up a little bit. But my next one that I want to do is this, Death in Space. I know my players would love to do sci-fi. I like this book. It's beautiful. I like the core mechanics. They're simple. They're relatable. I like a lot of the tone and themes in this game. So that's probably going to be next, carrying us through till Christmas. And this is something very few people have seen. This is an old copy and an incomplete, outdated copy of Torrent RPG, a game that I haven't talked about on here yet. It's in the middle of a rebrand, and Bardic Marketing Co. redid my visuals for that game, and what I'd like is that game to launch on GameFound soon. Soon is relative, so we'll see. But the game is complete. It needs layout. It needs new art. We also have a Discord for that. It's in my link tree if you want to check out that game. But I'm hoping the new year, a full campaign in my own system that I've made is coming up next. All right, just like that, I've got 4 colors of flocking and then 2 blends that I can give away. So easy. You should definitely do that. So I guess the last thing that I want to say on this topic of tabletop praxis is every game is cool. There's something cool in every game. Well, do you like OSR or superhero high fantasy? I like it all, man. It's all super fun. Gaming with your friends. And here's the reality. No matter what game I run, I'm the one running it. They're all going to feel like Trevor's game. That's just the way every game that I run ends up being. And yeah, I grow as a GM and whatever, but do I want to play OSR games? Heck yeah. Do I want to play Daggerheart? All about it. Do I want to do old school, new games, weird games, complex games, simple games? I want to do them all. They're all cool. So I would just say go out and try new games. They're all awesome. So I guess that's it for video number 3. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video of the Arcane Parlor. See ya.